You know, every time we take a medicine, we're pleasing a huge amount of trust in it. But have you ever stopped to think about who earns that trust? It's not just the scientists who invent these things. It's the people who stand as the very last line of defense before a product ever reaches you. Today, we're diving into the world of the quality control chemist. And this phrase, it's not an exaggeration. It's pretty much the job description. These chemists are the ones making sure that everything from life-saving vaccines to the chemicals in our daily products meets the absolute highest standard. It's a role with an incredible amount of responsibility resting on their shoulders. So, to really get what a QC chemist does day in and day out, we first need to understand where they fit in the grand scheme of things. And it all starts with this key difference: quality assurance versus quality control. They sound similar, but they're actually two sides of the same coin. Okay, check this out. Think of quality assurance, or QA, like an architect. They design the entire system to prevent mistakes from happening in the first place. They're proactive. They write the rule book. Now, quality control, QC, they're the inspector on the ground. They're hands-on, testing the final product to catch any defect that might have slipped through the cracks. They're reactive. So you see, QC isn't some rogue department. It's a vital, hands-on part of the whole QA system. QA designs the game plan, and QC is the team on the field, running the plays, making sure every single product is perfect before it's cleared for release. All right, so if you're going to be this final guardian, what do you need? Well, it takes a serious arsenal of high-tech tools and, maybe more importantly, an unshakable set of principles that guides every single thing you do. And listen, this is not your high school chemistry lab. We're talking about incredibly precise, sophisticated technology. HPLC and GC, they're like molecular detectives, able to separate and identify every single component in a sample. Then you have dissolution testing, which shows how a drug will actually break down inside the human body. And Karl Fischer Titration can sniff out even the tiniest, most microscopic traces of water. Okay, so you've got all these amazing machines spitting out data, but how do you know you can actually trust it? I mean, how can we be sure that the information is accurate, reliable, and totally tamper-proof? Well, the answer is a non-negotiable set of principles called ALCOA+. It's an acronym, and it means every single data point has to be attributable to a specific person, legible, recorded contemporaneously, meaning as it happens, original, and of course, accurate. It's a system designed to make the data completely bulletproof. But let's be real, even with the best systems in the world, sometimes things go wrong. And this is the moment when the QC chemist has to switch gears from scientist to full-blown detective. So picture this. It's the moment everyone dreads. A batch of product, maybe worth millions of dollars, has just failed its test. So what happens next? Well, a critical, methodical process kicks into high gear immediately. This failure has a name. It's called an out of specification, or OOS result. It means the product didn't meet the super strict limits set out in what are essentially the legal bibles of drug quality, like the pharmacopoeia. An OS is a massive red flag, and it launches an immediate, top-to-bottom investigation. And that investigation is a strict, three-phase process. Phase 1, you look in the mirror. Was it a lab error? Did the analyst make a mistake? Did the machine malfunction? If you can rule all that out, you move to Phase 2, a full-scale investigation that goes deep into the entire manufacturing process. Finally, Phase 3 is all about rigorous retesting to make the final call. Is this batch safe, or does it have to be rejected? But here's the thing. All of this, the machines, the procedures, the investigations, it all relies on something you can't measure with any instrument: the integrity of the chemist. This is the real foundation of quality control. Just let that sink in for a second. When a QC chemist signs off on a batch release form, it is so much more than just ink on paper. It's a personal guarantee. It's them putting their name and their entire professional reputation on the line to say, yes, this is safe. That's the real weight of this job. And imagine the pressure they're under. You've got production deadlines, you've got financial targets, but the science, the data, might be telling you no. For a QC chemist, scientific honesty has to win. Every single time. Having the courage to stand your ground and reject a batch is an absolutely non-negotiable part of the job. So you might be thinking, wow, this sounds like an incredibly high-stakes, high-pressure job. And it is. But because it's so fundamentally important, it's also an incredibly stable and rewarding career. Let's take a quick look at what the future holds for this profession. Let's talk numbers. The financial side is definitely solid, especially when you're just starting out. For example, in India, the projected entry-level salary for 2026 is right around 4 to 7 lakhs per annum. And of course, there's plenty of room to grow from there. And you know what? Getting your foot in the door is probably more straightforward than you think. As you can see, a bachelor's degree in chemistry or a related science is the ticket for about 81% of these roles. It's a very direct path from graduation to a stable career. But honestly, maybe the most attractive thing about this career is this. It is basically recession-proof. Think about it. The need for safe medicines, safe food, and safe consumer products, that never stops. It doesn't matter what the economy is doing. That makes the QC chemist an absolutely essential, indispensable professional. So as we keep pushing forward, creating incredible new products and technologies, the question becomes even more important. Who's going to be there to make sure we're safe? Who will stand as that final check? Well, now you know. It's the QC chemist, our silent guardian of public health.